Entropy is an extremely misunderstood concept, and it's about randomness and disorder. So a journey towards disorder. So a general sense of entropy is that there is a pattern, a structure, and then the direction of that structure is towards a randomness when you add the passage of time. Take something specific for temperature. Hold on. Temperature K. So the journey of entropy of temperature is towards homogeneity. So if in the world of spheres, it's the world in which temperature exists spherically. And so there is a zone of homogeneous temperature, really tiny, inside anything that has a temperature. So that the entropy for a coffee cup, when you have the coffee in the cream, let's say you had hot coffee, cold cream, and there's a pattern disorder turn into brown mud, general entropy. Temperature, there's a random temperature will be set, there'll be a journey towards balance, and then the arrow of time will take over and there'll be a journey towards colder as energy leaves, because as the heat breaks to cold within the structure through the motion of balance between two entities, the motion of overall entropy is towards colder, because the energy has been lost from the motion of the disorder changing. So a spherical world of temperature K is entropy is the journey towards homogeneity. And when you get to the nth scale, you can just see it's a bubble bursting. It's very simple. That there is a limit to the size of homogeneous temperature, tininess. So go into your coffee cup, take a zone of temperature that's the same. Look at it and you'll go, oh, actually, if I go smaller, I can see there's differences within this temperature. Keep going smaller till you get to the point where, oh, there's nothing smaller here. Right. That's the temperature. Fixed, that whole zone of the sphere is the same temperature exactly. And how is that possible? Well, it's got a surface. So the surface of that temperature is a boundary between it and the adjacent zones, which are different temperatures by definition. And so what happens is the motion of bursting. That dimension has two sizes. It's not existing at all, and it's existing as its surface. And so there's cavitation within, so that the difference of temperature now exists inside the surface of the boundary of homogeneity, because homogeneity exists only at the surface of temperature K. And so now we'll look at that surface. Go in and see a zone of temperature on the surface. Imagine the surface made up of spheres. Now that cannot be extinguished. Through logic of the journey of entropy, we've proven that surface boundary must exist. And so this boundary exists of these spheres. We're going to take the pinch point there, we're going to look at that sphere, and we're going to assume that that sphere is entirely homogeneous. And it's going to go through a rotation, a 720 rotation of twist, as the surface itself inverts, ready to burst. So that the main sphere, of which it is a particle, is wanting to burst, and its motion of bursting is that the surface boundary breaks. The motion of breaking of this boundary, because of the balance between compression and negative tension, is stretching. The motion takes a duration of stretching. It has to stretch, the surface stretches, and the surface stretches in this case by the spheres separating from each other as the flower of life. So the flower of life tries to separate. The flower of life cosmic foam is the pattern of the surface. As it tries to separate, it pulls itself back together again. And so the sphere does a 720 rotation twist. Each sphere of the surface itself does that, and that's the standard model. That's all the quarks and up quarks and down quarks and spinors. All the spin are the qualities and properties of this motion of electrostatic charge. You're actually seeing a spark that goes backwards in time, static in time. As we move forward, the spark exists in time, and we move through the spark is the best way to see it, but we are the spark at the center. And so that's the journey of entropy K to homogeneous temperature. surface change of electrostatic charge existing. That's what the boundary is, and that's Victor Levy's 1906 vector potential. Okay. It's a spherical world. The Earth is the center of the universe. I can prove it. I'm referencing Dunmore and Golgate, Portland Cement Association, 1993, circular concrete water tanks without pre-stressing. That document is corrupt, and I can prove it. God's truth will out. Follow the rebel king.